right, so we're brothers of the Great Millstone, Chicago, and we got the Wisconsin brothers here. And first and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that's doing this work around the four corners of the earth. To the scattered elect, scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen. And to those few aquas that are listening and learning, we give a hearty and truthful shalom. And I'm going to open with a statement in the scripture. That statement being that American media has been pushing this narrative over months past, how the Russians were losing soldiers every day, move off the bound, and they were dying, and they were, all these other things. But it's beyond obvious that is not true, because if that were the case, why do you keep needing to send billions of dollars over there for support if they were winning? And then all of a sudden, all the threats of the food famine, and the reason why there's a control over the food famine is because Russia is winning and controlling every damn thing, and they've taken over the food basket, the food area, and it's not looking good for America and the West or any of its allies. As a matter of fact, every ally to America financially is suffering a financial breakdown, a collapse of their financial systems, and they're oppressing their own people as a result of it, because they're linked up with America, which is making it obvious when as to why the nation shall hate the whore. If somebody can bring out that Jeremiah 49:7, Baba Bashar.
Jeremiah 49:7, and it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent?
So it's beyond clear that that the leaders of the Western world are quite dumb. Is quite frankly, they're dumb AF, as the kids say. All right, because anybody who follow America at this point, you dumb AF. All right, real talk. All right, because they make decisions that are not logical, not helpful to themselves or to the, what's that scripture? He who is wicked to himself. Right. Somebody want to grab that. But if you would, play that first clip. First one. Put it right now. Put it right now, brother. And then, whatever, and after that, whatever scriptures you brothers got, let them fly. Look there, this actually should lift your brother's spirit. These couple of clips, not that one. I sent you another.
Which one? The first one? Second? That was the first one you saw.
Let me see if it went through. This one. It went through and sent it.
No, it's just, it's on one of my hands. I just find which one that link was. So I can.
I got that scripture for you.
Send it again.
It's a nice tripod, boy. Shit.
That's actually part of the next one. I just sent it again, so. Yeah, that was in the lineup.
Yeah, I know. He
No, I
sent
sent
it
it
to me.
straight to him.
So now I gotta resend it to you.
Because that's on my other phone. This one don't have the group me on. Yeah, the guy right there.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
1 second. Did somebody read this? We pulled this up. Elder Benji put this on the screen. Got scripture? Yeah, Baltic.
Isaiah 34:1. I get it.
19 and 14.
Alright. This is
Woe to
Isaiah 33 and 1.
Yep, I'm
the,
finna
woe
read.
to
This is Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. And I'm sorry. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
That's it.
So Esau is got himself in a trick bag that he still don't want to deal with or see, but he gets everything around him is crumbling under the pressure of these scriptures. Okay, I got something in that Jeremiah. I'm starting at 20 and read down to 22. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh.
What chapter?
Oh, this is Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. I mean, this is going to escalate to the point where the scripture says the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard.
Ezekiel 25:13.
Okay. Will we get that now?
Right now.
I got it. This is Ezekiel 25:13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand on Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it.
All the people dying from something that went wrong that was supposed to help people. The beasts dying. You know, you got, this was a 98th food facility that mysteriously just caught on fire. You know, I guess you just got spontaneous combustion in all these food places, right? And then you got beasts just dropping dead in places it's supposedly from heat exhaustion, and in places where it wasn't even that hot. But you know, I digress. But continue.
It says, and I will make it desolate, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Right? Go ahead, break it
And
down.
ultimately, that's the missiles, because what's happening right now is before a world's war happens, there's something called proxy wars, and we're in the stages of proxy wars right now. Okay, so this is why the whole situation in Ukraine is going on, the whole situation with China and Taiwan is going on. So the scriptures is telling you that, well, I believe it's in Isaiah the 13th chapter, where it says the Lord mustered up the host of the battle. So that's what's going on right now. The Lord is mustering up the host of the battle.
Like the
for
scripture
the
said,
World War III.
like the scripture said, the least is drawing them into it now. Okay?
Yeah.
At least shall draw them out, which is speaking about those little head people.
Exactly.
But let's hear the details of how these people are going to turn on them and draw everybody out.
Right.
Go ahead, play that, brother.
Right, and kill him.
Give me a second. It's buffering just 1 second.
The war is going catastrophically for Ukraine. The Russians are relentlessly winning. And they are going to take over huge swaths of territory of this country. Because I'm in Ukraine right now. I'm in the city of Kharkov. I hear, rather, the shelling every day. And the shelling gets closer every day. The mainstream media is lying to you. The Russians are winning, definitively. And because they are winning so definitively, and they have no intention of stopping, I mean, why would they? They're winning. Well, the Biden administration finds itself that they have put all of their chips on Ukraine, and Ukraine is definitively losing. It's quite frankly a miracle that the Ukrainian armed forces is still standing after the annihilation it has received. It is inconceivably horrible what has happened to these young men, and every single one of them. He's a great man with a family, and they died pretty much for nothing, except the desires of the Biden administration. And now the Biden administration finds itself with a catastrophic loss, and so they are going to escalate. And the way it seems that they are going to escalate is by creating a situation, an incident in Lithuania. Lithuania, one of the Baltic republics, one of the members of NATO, well, the Baltic Republic of Lithuania has cut off access of Russian railway to Kaliningrad. Now, for those of you who don't know, basically, here's Russia, here is Lithuania, and over here is a little piece called Kaliningrad that's on the Baltic Sea. Now, this was captured in the Second World War, but it's detached from the mainland of Russia. Lithuania is between them. And Lithuania had an agreement, a long-standing agreement, over 30 years, that they would never impede any train between Russia and Kaliningrad. That they would basically consider that train like a corridor that could go back and forth between Kaliningrad and Russia. And now they've cut it. And now they are making moves in terms of moving troops. Now, Lithuania has a microscopic army, but the Polish army is also on the move. The Polish army has been making moves on the Belarusian border. All of this leads me to conclude, realistically, that at this time, there is the intention by NATO to provoke the Russians into defending Kaliningrad. Now, Kaliningrad,
Okay.
the war is going
Then I go right to the next one. Did y'all hear that? Polish army is on the move. Lithuanian army is on the move. And they've cut off this railway to this little spot. I forget the name of it. That's right up to Russia.
Right.
All right. And so, what do you think the Russians are gonna do to the Lithuanians and Polish? Because they can smash them too. We'll go to that next video. What's the first one with the black and white one? Because you're not getting it. No.
I'm gonna find it. No?
No, even though all this is gonna come up because this is why we're having a food problem. So all that. This one.
That one?
Yes.
together with other powerful allies, have created a new G8 with Brazil, Iran, and other nations in a warning to the United States of America that the world no longer needs America's policy. The world no longer needs the American threat of dictatorship by military. These are Russia's words, not mine. And the world is ready for a new world order without American involvement. The economies of the United States, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy, and Canada continue to collapse under the pressure of sanctions against Russia, according to these reports. The group of countries that do not take part in the sanction war, China, India, Russia, Indonesia, Brazil, Mexico, Iran, Turkey, is 24.4% ahead of the old group in terms of GDP per capita. According to
pause it right there. So basically, everybody that's joined on to Russia, their GDP is up.
Going up.
But everybody that's joined on to America, everything is down, and they're not reporting that here in America. The evidence of it is what you're seeing at the pump and what you're seeing in the grocery stores.
Yep.
That's the scriptures fly, man.
Yep.
Get their ass. Get them.
Actually, it's Jeremiah.
Got a quick one. This naming 3 and 4. It said because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that setteth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdom thy shame. That's what they're going into. The economy.
Yeah.
You know, the nations knocking off all the food and shit, you know. The more out of people, everything is being Yahweh outside creating shame upon this shit.
Right.
All the slavery, all the shit our people went through, bro, all this shit is being brought down. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes, it is. And only we are rejoicing in this.
This is that Jeremiah. I'm going to take it back up at 21. Jeremiah 49, pick up 21 and read 21 and 22. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. at the cry the Lord fell was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. So Esau's pride is gonna be brought to the point where he gonna be acting like a female in labor and shit. Why is me? The whole deal.
Hysterical.
That's it, exactly.
When women having babies, they say all type of dumb ass shit. They act crazy.
I hate you.
Yeah,
You put this on me like this.
fuck! This shit is over. Fuck!
I got a precept real quick.
Bring it out, brother.
This is Revelation 13, because what's happening is the prophecy of this beast system ending with Russia is coming to the part.
Yep.
This is Revelation 13:1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy." That goes back to what? The Roman Empire and the vassal states, which is comparable to today with what? NATO, the EU, which and America, which makes up that whole entire beast system.
The 10
It's
common
back,
markets.
right, it's back on the earth again. So now the Lord said, what? I'm going to end you by the bear, which is what? We're seeing in Russia. It says, verse 2, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard," because that system began with the Greeks.
Yep.
It says, "And his feet were as the feet of a bear." Let's talk about Russia, which means that what? Russia's going to bring the beast system, all right, to an end. And that's what we're seeing now coming and manifesting in this reality now. Man. It says, "In his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." And that's going into England, right? So now we're in, and that's a spirit, because Russia said they had this on their mainstream news media outlets in Russia. They said that we can put England underwater in seconds, you know, and they were threatening England. So what Russia's doing, everybody that's getting in the way, they're getting bowled over now. They're just going through now.
Hey,
You know, and Ukraine, they're about to pass through Ukraine, and like the elder said, Poland and Lithuania, they're next, and they're gonna pass right through them, man. So they're attacking that beast system now.
They've been
the
attacking
Lord
on
did-
all sides right now.
Right.
Esau is scared. When it goes into Teman is the Russian, but I mean not the Russian, not the German. Pardon me, the German, but there's no wisdom in Teman. They don't know what the fuck to do. Is it Isaiah 47?
And then they're letting the least of the flock lead them.
That's it.
Via America.
Exactly. So they're in a confused state right now. Isaiah 47:1, it says, "Sitting in the dust, O daughter of Babylon."
Go ahead and bring that out, brother. Go ahead, read
I'm gonna grab that real quick.
it. Somebody hold Isaiah 61 too. I mean 63.
That's like I was telling Capo a couple weeks ago.
Right. They're trying to put balm on it, like exact scripture, but it's not going to do nothing. You know.
Well, you know when the pandemic first started, they was giving everybody stimulus. That stimulus, come on now, they could
That actually helped
they
destroy it.
destroy it. They gave everybody between 1,200 to 1,400, 1,600. They pumped the money into society to pop it.
And then what really did it was the PPPs.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
People was getting 40 G's, 60
No, and
G's.
Jake figured out how to operate that shit.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And a lot of Jakes, you know, that's why all of a sudden you saw these Hellcats on the streets.
Exactly.
And people buy houses and homes and all kind of shit, open up businesses.
Yep.
Well, go ahead and finish that scripture, brother.
Sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Yep.
O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Yep.
Call it and read it, bro.
No, that's Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Yep.
But thou
Because of
shalt
the witchcraft, the sorcery, okay, the manipulation, because that's what the ancient Chaldeans was known for, was witchcraft and sorcery. And that's the same thing what Babylon is about through their media. See, the media is telling you something different, but when you go into these different outlets, we know what the real truth is, what's going on. So that's the Chaldeans. They're making it seem, well, Biden just said
And the
that
evidence
we're
and
in
the
a good
results
state.
too, brother.
Yep.
The evidence and the results of their actions
That's right.
tell a different story from what they're saying as well.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, like they move with the glasses and stuff like that, you see different things and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, real quick, just off the Chaldeans with the witchcraft, Biden literally just said that, oh yeah, the economy is doing good. The economy is bouncing back. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they had to do a survey of like, just interviewing people on the street. Like, do you agree with Biden is saying? And everybody was like, hell no. Like, look at the fucking gas prices. Look at the interest rates. Look at the.
They sent a bunch of memes and jokes of him falling off his bike.
Right.
People, Americans are clowning that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the foreign nations doing that. That's American citizens doing that. Right?
Hey, the show. Another thing about these gas prices, you got a lot of not a lot of but a lot of just Edomites. They have moved to different different states, and come work in Chicago. Now, in my job, a lot of them guys making $30, $40 an hour.
For years, but now they're really doing it.
But now what's happening? They complaining about gas prices. I was talking to a Edomite in my job. He said, man, he said, I put $20, I put my last little bit of money to get to work. And this dude been at this job, this dude making $30-some an hour, and he's struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With wife,
people with six figures are having a hard time.
You know?
People,
they gotta knock it down.
You got people that's earning six figures that are hey, look, more and more people, you know, where I travel and mingle in on a daily basis is Bucktown, Wicker Park for the most part, between there and the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of residents that live in both those places, and those are two of the richest neighborhoods between Old Town and Wicker Park, Bucktown. Those are two of the richest neighborhoods in the Chicagoland area. And a lot of people are, you know what you're seeing on the streets? The streets are full of now scooters. People are buying electric scooters and electric bikes. So these rich people are parking their cars and riding electric bikes, man.
Yep. Because they have to break down the society to the point where rich and poor.
Exactly.
Remember, it was a middle class and people was doing good. Everybody doing a little bit, good for themselves. No, it has to be the elites, and then it has to be your
Have and have-nots.
Exactly. That's how.
Pretty much, brother. But let them finish that scripture, brother.
Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Because you ran through whore now. What you got, brother? Then you next, brother.
I got Jeremiah 51 and 30. It's like 30, and it reads, "The mighty men of Babylon have born to fight." And Babylon is on different fronts right now, and they're threatened all over the country right now. It says they have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. That's right, their might has failed because Babylon cannot just they're spread thin.
Too thin.
They're too thin right now. They just can't up and just grab troops and just go to one that spot and put out that flank.
Yeah, they can't roughshod.
They can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't just stop it. They can't control it right now.
Kind of. Now you got Russian troops down in South America. A couple different countries in South America.
Yep.
That shit
And they
crazy.
got nuclear subs parked down there as well.
That's lovely.
So, basically they've given Babylon a taste of his own medicine, man.
That's
Right? And guess what? They also, Russia ain't never broke ties with Cuba. And they ain't no telling what's there that we don't even know about.
Right.
So you get
Back
hit
to the
from all-
60s.
Yeah, man, you back to the 60s, man. The water pigs. What they call it?
Yes, the water pigs,
You know?
1960. That's it, the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's right.
Some more of that.
I'm sorry, calm down. It says they have become as women. I mean, that speaks for itself. They have become as women, man. How can you function as a woman in control of anything, man?
Right.
That's confusion.
Yeah, they're a bunch of
That's
women.
weakness.
Hey.
Bunch of women arguing in the room, man.
That's
that had a damn, a whole party, what they call it, a mixer event, and then nobody showed up but women.
Hey.
Confusion,
The
man.
nigga one time.
Right? Yeah, and hey, that's another thing, man. These people, these Babylonians, man, is gonna be in a bad way. A lot of you women, man. Even my ex said to me a couple weeks ago that all this stuff is starting to come. She's not in a good place. And I'm like, yeah, well, whose fault is it? But and so a lot of these women gonna be left out there and I don't know how many of y'all seen that video. But those women, collectively, all the women I saw in the background, they was attractive.
They was fine as hell.
Hey.
Hey, cause that's the nigga woman ain't shit. That's why these fucking independent, so-called independent black bitches. Don't nobody want these trash ass.
I went to go buy some beer and some food for family, for a little thing earlier, man. and I walked into the store, and a big fat ass, out of shape, 300-pound
Raise them
nigga
back.
woman is telling everybody to tell her Happy Father's Day because she raised 3 good men.
Wow.
And you know, one's a bus driver, and one's a police officer, and then you know all this other mess.
Bus driver's
And-
not a good accomplishment.
You know, and I'm like, you know, and I'm like, that I'm listening to her talk, and I'm like, so you a man now, so, and then I'm thinking, well, why did you have to raise him by yourself?
Right.
Because of your fucking attitude? Because you ran the man off? Do they all have the same damn father?
Probably
You
not.
know? More than likely not.
Right.
All right.
So you
So
need
that's
to
the
right
reason
reason.
why no man is with you. All right. All right. Now your sons are grown and gone. You know, grown and gone, and they see you for what you really are.
Yeah.
Because every man comes to that realization when he realizes that his mother really ain't shit.
That's it.
You know? And that's even dudes in the world, man.
Right.
Because when I first came back home, you know, first thing, of course, when I first moved back to Chicago, I was living with my mom. It was the first time I was with her as an adult. All right, and after, you know, being with my mom, I was with her. I was staying there for about a year and a half. But after that year and a half, living with my mother, man, and my best homie that grew up with me, he was there too. You know, he was in that big ass house by himself. So we, you know, he had the basement and I had the attic. We had, you know, the whole space. All right. But after being there that time, I realized, damn, now I see why my father didn't want fucking with you. I get it. I realized that as an adult, man. It was a realization I came to.
Dude, I do.
Hey.
I was like, yeah, I do love, I love the shit out of my mother, man. But I was like, damn, I understand now.
Hey.
Why, you know,
She was dead wrong.
Hey,
I was
look,
like, damn.
hey,
Exactly.
You know?
I had that same incident with my mother. My son was about 3, maybe 4 years old, and I had the same little incident. And I told her, I said, Mom, I literally said, I said, Mom, I love you. But now that I've got my own, I realized what Dad was dealing with, and I've got a whole different respect for him. Oh, you could see the conscience in her face. She was like,
oh, my mom, yeah, the
like,
kind
oh,
of,
you done woke up and I said, and basically she realized, I woke up and I see the treachery.
He saw the true her.
That's it.
You know, because and my stepdad was cool. He passed away before my mom did, but but when he passed away, her and my father a couple years later ended up getting back together,
Okay.
and that shit didn't work.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, and now and when I came home, I was like, damn, now I see why.
That's it.
Because it's like, we was all grown, wasn't even around, and you still couldn't, because you know what? Because my stepfather let her do whatever the fuck she wanted, and my father was a real aggressive, manly man. Like, where you going? What you doing? Oh, I'll drive you there. I'll pick you up.
Right.
You know? And my stepfather, he just would give her the wallet.
Here you go, babe.
Right, she be just gonna do whatever the fuck she wanted to do.
Hey.
What it was, she just didn't want to be accountable, and that's what's happening with a lot of these women. And the result of that, the people are as the king. That's what's happening with the leadership in this country. And it's got to trickle down. It's not just the black woman; it's all these women.
Yeah,
I also came to that same effect. He was like, man, after I reconnected to my mom, I kind of saw that it was around that, because I never said anything bad. I let him make his own situation of what it is that he's going to get a chance to see.
My sons came to the same
Same
conclusion.
thing, exactly.
My daughter as well. My
Hey.
daughter even apologized to me. She said, "Damn, Daddy, I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm so sorry."
hey, what's crazy
My
is,
daughter said that, man.
Wow.
hey,
And my sister said it too. And my oldest brother, we were talking about it. If it wasn't for the things to get that out of your system, you know what I'm saying, she would have already been fucked up, and she's still fucked up because it's a process to get all that out. And but she apologized too.
hey, through the spirit, I used to always ask my father, because I got 8 uncles, and every one of my uncles got different daddies, right? And I used to ask my father, like, ain't grandmama super Christian? Why she got why all my uncles got different daddies? They all got different daddies. She ain't with none of them, and end up being with the last one right before she died. But hey, my father went to the military. He's gone to the military 5-6 years. He was sending money home, and not knowing my grandmama was spending all his fucking money. So my father came back from the fucking military thinking he was gonna have a bag, and she spent all his money. You know, hey, these women ain't shit, man. That was my grandmother. And she'd smile in my face and act like, but I used to always have this something about her, like, man, you
Because,
fucked my daddy up.
You know, yeah, she fucked your daddy up, and guess what? You know, no
She dead
disrespect to
now,
your
shit.
grandmother,
Fuck her,
but,
shit.
But you know that old hoes used to be young hoes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
just remember that part, man.
Con.
Right.
Oh,
And
shit,
most
fuck
of them,
it,
Them,
shit.
them church mammies, them old ass women with
They be the worst ones.
You know, with the sister big hat.
They call them mothers.
Right.
Yeah, they call them mothers.
And them church mothers, they gobble a whole lot of seed. And they want the same seed either. But let's get back on the topic at hand.
Finish up on those Jeremiah 51.
Barber shop, brother.
It said,
And I need my DJ back. Where the hell did Ryan go, man?
Oh, okay.
He went outside.
Jeremiah 51 and 30, they became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. The dollar bill, they dwell in with that dollar bill. It's on high, right? That dollar bill is gone. That dollar bill is gone, right? It says her barns are broken down. Right, the walls of her barns, man, they worship that dollar bill. They almighty dollar, and it's gone right now. You know,
Ain't nobody saying cash is king no more.
One world order. We're trying to bring it in. You know.
This Mark chapter 3 verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end.
Right. And what did the man say in the video? The full spectrum survival dude. He said that Russia said that the world doesn't need America or anything, and Russia and China intend on being at the head of this next world order. And that's dividing the shit out of the Edomites, man. He saw us divided. All right. And they getting ready to bang with each other. And not only are they going to bang cross country, they're going to bang within this country. Because the Edomites here are divided as fuck in multiple ways. There's so many, they're so fragmented. There's so much, because you got the left versus the right. Okay. You got these Edomites that's down for Jake, and you got the Edomites that absolutely hate Jake. Right, and then you got the Edomites that know that they need Jake in order to be in those subservient positions, so that they don't have to do it. You know, and all three of those ideologies are gonna somebody get Revelation 6 and 4. All those are gonna clash, man.
I got you.
All right.
Which one should we queue up next?
This is Revelation chapter 6. This is Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth.
Right. This was
And that they should kill one another.
There it is. See, they got given a great sword, and so they're talking about how they're gonna be killing the zombies, which is which is code for killing niggas and spiggies. All right. But the truth of the matter is that these Edomites are getting ready to bang on each other, man. And you see how they dragging out this. They show you all this shit that went on January 6th at the. They're ready to go at each other, man.
And this shit over a year ago.
And a lot of that is lies and set up and exaggerations of the truth, sensationalizing stories and things. And how but then they got these fake groups, and then you got real groups though, because you got these Edomites that are all they having these false flag events with a whole bunch of guys dressed like the video popped up of them talking to the police before they got in the van. Before they got in the van, and then all of a sudden they all get arrested and caught just in the nick of time.
Right.
But then you got real groups that plan on doing shit too, man. All right.
Yeah, they just set the propaganda, just setting the mark. It's making people be solidified in their mind.
And the real patriots,
Exactly.
and the real patriots are tired of being demonized.
Exactly.
They're tired of being portrayed as if they're terrorists in their own countries when they actually fought and bled for the lies. Going over there, fight these Rothschilds wars and and shoot people in their own homeland and calling them insurgents when they fucking live there. When you're the fucking insurgent, you're the terrorist. Then you come with tanks and rifles and planes and bombs, to my shit, right? And now I'm a terrorist because I'm defending my fucking home.
That's right.
You know, because I'm trying to defend my way of life, right? And yeah, now you the bad guy. That shit is crazy, man. And you know, and you talk to the average Edomite American, and you're un-American for saying what I'm saying.
Exactly.
How you did?
Where the hell you get that ideology from?
Right. You know, if that's like somebody kicking in your door, you know, and taking all your shit, and you know, you try to defend your house, and now you're a insurgent.
Exactly.
It's like that shit makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, man.
You know what? You will say that and then ask, well, how the hell can you come to a conclusion like that? I was a Marine. I was in the middle of this shit. They like, they jaw drop. They like, really? How the fuck am I gonna argue with that?
So they still,
And you still have ones that will argue with that.
That too.
I'm pulling it up right now. And so it's going to start on this own. So Bob will show you the second.
yeah.
And I was a Marine. I was in the
Anybody
middle
else
of
think it's
that.
crazy that over the last 200 years, the government of corporate America has dug up every single plant that grows fruits and vegetables, passed laws to discourage gardening, removed the gardens from all the homes, made people start to pay for food because they realized that the less time you have to spend taking care of yourself, the more you can spend being a slave. And also, the fact that everywhere you go and you see trees for miles, those are all male trees. And they planted male trees so that there wouldn't be any fruit to grow on them, so that you would have to pay for it. No, just me? Anybody else think it's crazy that
Click to the next one, and that's something that I didn't even realize. I just learned that from some scientific person. I had no idea that they were male and female trees.
I didn't hear that either.
And so that's one of the reasons. No,
Shit.
Go to the next one. There's another one about food. Go to the next one.
That makes
together with all the power?
It makes perfect sense.
Right.
Why the trees are dying off of shit and all this
Because
shit.
the
like,
women
because
produce
of
the
shit
fruit.
they spray too.
Damn.
Stop seeing fruit
But
trees. I don't see
you know those trees
pollination.
used to. That's a good one, but we can play that with you. But all the videos we've seen are gonna be in the subject matter. But
Gas prices are so high right now.
now pause it for a second. But the fact that those mulberry trees, Chicago had mulberry trees everywhere.
Everywhere.
All over the place.
Yo,
You
man.
could just walk up to them and eat them. They grew in your yards.
Yes.
They grew in the park.
You remember
They
growing
grew
up as a
everywhere.
kid?
We had a lot of blueberry trees
Yes.
too.
That-
We actually had blueberry trees. I used to eat them when I was a kid.
And blackberries.
Yeah.
We had all of them. Because
Blackberries, mulberries, and blueberries. And
Yes.
see a lot of you brothers young.
No,
so y'all
no,
remember.
Hold on. What's a mulberry?
Bike in the park, we be tired as hell, and we eat them trees. We be rejuvenated. We start playing again and riding.
You wouldn't walk down certain blocks because you got to step in all
The
that
stain,
shit, and
the
then you get
stain.
stuck in your house
Exactly.
and bring that shit in the crib.
That's
Now,
mulberries?
Yeah,
That's one in my backyard. In my mama in the backyard.
all of that.
It's literally one in my father in the
Those
backyard.
of those, they grow into the mulberry trees.
I didn't know that.
That's what grew in my
I didn't know you
back-
could
in
eat
my
that.
backyard, I used to climb that shit and eat the berries, man.
See,
We got him.
Like it, brother. One thing
Damn.
Pops told me years ago.
I'm gonna go try some.
See, he's ancient enough
I can live with that.
to know that he can remember seeds in a banana.
I never
You
seen.
ain't no seeds in bananas no more. No, but younger people have no idea that banana has and supposed to have seeds.
I never knew.
All right, but when if you're young enough,
I never
we
had
used to have
one.
the crab apples. You can eat those crab apples. I used to
When's
throw
the
them.
last time you seen a crab apple?
I haven't seen it. We used to have crab apple fights with
We used to have crab apple
milk and
fights.
condiment. And sprinkle it top. And that's fun and shit. And then you take the motherfucker and you eat it. And it was a motherfucking sweet ass
They were
crab
like
apple.
sweet and sour.
You serious?
As a matter of fact, that's probably where they got the idea of the sweet and sour candy.
It has got me hot right now because
I never fucking knew you could eat that shit.
Another thing that I've missed, and I will say, is the blessed fireflies. We used to collect the fireflies and put them in a jar and have them fucking light up.
I ain't seen a firefly in years.
Don't they still come up with so few and far.
No, you
Very few and far.
Hey, and you used to be able to walk through them, man, and whatnot, and you can literally.
I remember
You
that.
can take a jar and walk through them and just.
Yep.
I mean,
You had a whole jar.
Exactly, a whole jar. You can literally walk through.
When I was a kid, it was like that. When I was little, it
When you
was
sit
like
out there in the bird,
yeah.
Hold
When I
on.
was in the bird.
Elder
you know
Rob
what I'm
got a
saying?
scripture to bring out, brother.
Yeah.
Bring out the scripture, and we're gonna read that.
Yeah, because this goes back to the beginning of the creation, and this is Genesis 1:11. It says, and the power said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit.
That's right.
After its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was good so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the yielding tree yielding fruit. So you're supposed to have fruit trees. Everything's supposed to have seed in it.
That's right.
It don't make no sense. You got these different fruits, bananas, watermelons, all that.
Grapes, all that
grapes
shit, yeah.
with no seed in it. Everything's supposed to have a seed in it, man.
Right.
That's life.
That's
Yeah.
life, man.
Life is in the seed.
Yeah.
That's why the Lord always made certain allegories to like the vineyard and what we're doing right now, we're planting seeds to bring forth life. Everything that we're doing is the same, concept.
Kind says
husbandry.
Yes.
Husband.
So it says, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and a tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And the power saw it was good.
Wow.
And see that.
And when you think about it, too, like I said, from the scientific, true science, you know, the Lord was in perfect balance because I hadn't even considered the fact that they're male and female plants, they're male and female trees. So when they screw up the balance, then it makes a lot of sense why a lot of these bushes and a lot of these berries and these berry bushes aren't growing in the trees anymore.
Right.
Because
They cornered the market.
Yep.
I mean, it's really what they did by planting. See, they are strategical in planting things, and then they go through what they've already planted, and you speak of this a lot. They over prune the trees to where now the tree cannot actually survive and take in enough nutrients from the sun, rain, and so forth. And now you'll see beautiful tree. Then what the fuck is this tree doing? Damn, what's wrong with this tree? This tree's sick as fuck. They're great. They do be more brown, now they're more gray. The leaves are now already seem like they're coming out to fall way too soon. And it's because of all the shit, how they're taking care of what they're putting in the air and what they're putting in the fluoride and the water and all that stuff. It's really killing the
Can I get something for you real quick?
Bubble shower.
Real quick, this is Psalm 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundation of the earth are out of the way.
And that goes into the nature even of the plants, trees, the birds, and the bees. All right. Matter of fact, there's been Google bee population decline.
Right.
If the bees, now why would the Lord say in the scriptures, a land flowing with milk and honey? Why? In order to have milk, what do you need? Cows. What are cows going to do? Eat the grass.
Right.
All right. Then they're going to shit in the grass and make it even more abundance. Then you got milk and honey. Where the honey come from? The bees. What do the bees do? Pollinate all the fruits and the vegetables. So when you go back to Israel, you knew that we had a land full of milk and honey. And you had a whole bunch of cattle. You had a whole bunch of bees. Had a whole bunch of vegetation. Had a whole bunch of life.
Exactly.
Now you go into, if you go Google how the bee population, I might do it after we play this next video. You'll see that all the numbers are declining in every single way.
They made a movie about it, the Bee movie.
That's right.
Yeah,
The Bee movie was actually a knowledgeable movie because it's talking about how the bees are dying off, and if the bees was to die off, that all plant life would die off because the bees are a part of the natural ecosystem of the planet.
They are that's how you would have plants cross-pollinate and all these type of things. Like you go and suck the off the one,
and then it'll be on the back of it.
And you go over there. So I gotta take this.
He's about to read an article about that, brothers. Right. He's been holding it. Bring that out.
Israeli acute virus. That's the name of it.
Israeli acute virus?
Israeli acute virus.
Israeli
acute.
Israeli acute virus.
Sound like the Spanish flu, right?
Thing that makes you go, Go ahead, brother. Bring that out, Mama.
This is describes the life cycle of a sperm. Key points: male cones give rise to microspores, which produce pollen grains, while female cones give rise to megaspores, which produce ovals. The pollen tube develops from the pollen grain to initiate fertilization. The pollen grain divides into two sperm cells by mitosis on of the sperm cells unites with the egg cells during fertilization. Once the oval is fertilized, it dilates, supportites, it's produced with which gives rise to the embryo enclosed in a seed coat of tissue from the patient plant. Fertilization of the seed development can take years. The seed that is formed, it makes up the three issues of seed coats, the gametolite and the embryo. You know, and this man Esau, this is the reason why our the plants and the trees and the bushes and all sorts of, you know, along with the wind. Slaki, the air that we breathe, you know, it's all defiled. This man does not get along. Nature does not get along with him. And
because he's the harbinger of death. This nigga right, okay. This man will kill him. Everything that kills himself.
And that cartoon.
That cartoon was like man.
The man, right. I just want to say, I'll pull up the article. I'm not going to read all this. Just give me some of the headlines. Bee Conservancy, save the bees. Bees are suffering. EPA, save the bees. Are these bees going extinct? 2 studies on bee health. Illinois population, 6 consecutive years of decline on the population of bees. Then it says, beekeepers across the United States lost 45.5% of their managed honeybee colonies from April 20th to April 2020 to April 2021. Right? They'll say, people ask, exposure to, they say, why is there a decline in bee population? Exposure to parasites, pesticides, climate change, which when you say climate change, they're pesticides, that goes in chemtrails, and then not to mention the 4G, 5G, 6G bullshit, that all that they thousands and thousands of birds just dropping down, bees drop down, animals drop down because those frequencies are wicked frequencies and actually is counterproductive to those smaller animals' physiology, and so they die. They cannot be. That's why you see certain birds attacking those towers, right? And more pine. They have, in California, they got the palm tree. Fake palm trees with all of the 5G shit around here, and
they get it too.
They got the evergreens, fake evergreens, and at the top is all the towers, and trying to hide them. These birds, these bees, this nature is not fucking with it, and it's dying out.
Hey, they actually, Salakia, damn, I just forgot my damn thought. So it was the spirit.
Anybody get scripture, bring up what you got.
Salakia.
Somebody find that he who does evil to himself.
Sirach 14. You got it?
Come, but bring out the scripture, brother.
So basically, what I was about to read, because they mess up the natural uses of all these things, which is medicine and energy. This is Ecclesiasticus 38:4. The Lord Yahweh created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. And that's what they're doing. They're ruining every natural thing that's in them. That's why everything is dying off, because the things like the foods to medicines heal you. Now you're not getting this proper nutrients no more. You ain't getting the medicine. So now everything is defiled, especially what y'all saying with the chemtrails, the air, everything being polluted. That's ruining every natural resource on this planet.
God.
Well, it says that all the time when you how is it that you go into the store and in one part of it you got all these foods, but then in another section you got to buy all these minerals and vitamins and whatnot.
The supplements.
In the first place, the supplements.
Right.
And then, like you said, you know, when we talked about the fruits and whatnot back in the day, by the time we would be able to grab that fruit, pick it up, and throw it, this, that, and other, it done ripened. It's totally ripe. It hit the ground. So either we could throw it or we could hit you with it. It wasn't whether we were playing or not. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Monsanto and all these other people go around and do what they do, and took the earth's ability to naturally reproduce itself from it.
They killing
in the heartland.
They killing it.
They killed it.
They killing the life. And I watched the video, basically going into the trees And why in some places it's getting more hot is because it's not enough trees.
Yeah.
Esau been cutting off the trees, and it's something that the trees do.
Well, no,
It's
the
a
trees are very essential. Into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
oxygen
yeah.
we breathe. It's
It
very
cools
They
essential.
got all these respiratory issues.
And
Trees
it-
are directly
They soak up
connected
that
to
carbon.
your respiratory system.
Come on,
All
man.
right, we need the trees and the trees need us. So that's why you got a lot of positives, so to speak. You look, it's called damn, I had it. Damn. Photosynthesis.
Yeah, and carbon dioxide.
And that's what it's called. All right. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Trees
They
breathe
eat
it in.
that.
Breathe back out clean air, clean oxygen.
And the photosynthesis
all right?
part
And
is
that's the
the green
photosynthesis part, man.
and they do something
All
else.
right? And so if you got half your trees dead and sick and all these crazy ass colors,
We ain't got enough
you're gonna have the oxygen. There's not enough
Quality
You're gonna
oxygen.
have oxygen nasal. You're gonna have problems, respiratory issues.
Come,
And then they take and when you have those issues, they weaponize them to control you.
come, and the trees actually help control the temperature of the air that's around it. It actually it balances it. It's another thing that the trees do, like if it's too hot outside or if it's at a tree area. So what I've been, I read an article that certain properties that has no trees, the property values are going down because they're more hotter. Right? They're more hotter, and they found out it's because the trees, they do something to keep the neighborhood keep it cool. You know?
First of all, what does the trees provide? Shade.
Yeah.
Okay? And you start cutting down all the trees and then start thinning out all the trees.
Okay.
You just take away your oxygen levels, because even though right here on the screen, process of photosynthesis, the trees and the plants, they breathe in carbon dioxide, which we exhale. All right. They take in the sunlight, and that combination with the water produces oxygen and sugars and other things that for our benefit. If you start clipping their leaves, then they cannot photosynthesize.
Can't breathe.
They cannot, exactly. It's taking a fish out
They
of
can't
water.
breathe. Yeah,
it's taking
yeah.
a fish out of water. And then you go up and down these streets here in Chicago.
That's why they look like
Man,
pigs.
these trees look like anorexic goddamn crackers.
They say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They look like little skinny ass white bitches. You can see all the ribs. They're taking away our oxygen, and they're taking away our food.
So it's when you.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and two, the reason why you got all these floods everywhere, because you don't have no trees around. The trees absorb the water.
Yeah, the foliage absorb the water.
Exactly.
Well, bring out your scripture, brother. These brothers got some scripture too. Hurry up.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24,
That's
verse
a
4.
I got it right.
He known for that, brother.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The holy people of the earth do languish. So the earth is suffering, man, under the habits thereof. And it's Esau, Of course, you spray your chemtrails in air, your agent blue, whatever color it is, destroy your trees, destroy your crops,
They got a strand of cancer in the water called chromium 6 in the water.
Damn.
Chromium 6 is in the water.
Cancer, water cancer.
Water cancer.
And how that,
What the fuck?
how the FDA does it, the FDA does it to where like they have to have
Cancer.
they regulate healthy levels
Healthy level.
of chromium 6 and
Chromium
healthy
6.
levels of rat shit and chocolate and healthy levels
but-
of this
but-
chemical.
okay.
Yeah, I heard that about ground. They said it's best when you back coffee to grind it yourself.
Right.
But they said the same thing about ground coffee. They insert a lot of roasted.
They add
and
exactly.
rat shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this is going to show you how hypocritical Esau is. I'm gonna read this quick article because I did a lesson yesterday talking about this, and I actually put my email and now so that they would send me articles so that I can use them to edify. And this is from the Chicago Anti-War Coalition. And I want the war to go on. The Lord, I want Ezekiel 38 to happen. They're trying to stop it, but this is good information. It says, and so this is from the Chicago Anti-War Coalition, and it reads, the U.S. government has a lot to say about imprisonments of opponents of government in other countries, and they do, all right, and regularly denounce the harsh treatment and torture there. The following article shows the typical hypocrisy of the U.S. government and long and harsh jailing of CIA whistleblower who was awaiting a new trial after the original result in a hung jury on all major charges. And then there is an imprisonment of Julian Assange in Britain under harsh and inhumane conditions because of the unjust attempt of the U.S. government to extradite this Australian citizen, and ditto with the U.S. kidnapping and the harsh and inhumane imprisonment of Venezuelan diplomat Alex Saab. There are many more examples that we can cite. We should not be fooled by the U.S. righteousness about the defending democracy. And more people need to work to change this system, don't you think? And this was from Neil Betty, a part of this anti-coalition. And this defending U.S. righteousness, all right? And defending democracy, grenade! Lands, death, destruction, grenades, and then alphabet lifestyle and everything else, the destruction of the family, the stealing of your resources, you know, the destruction of plant life. Like, you can click back to one of them videos, they're making, you know, they've been to have these laws on the books, and now I guess they're in play now finally, where it's illegal to grow food in your own gardens. That was the black Terminator seed.
You know what? You're about to find it right now.
You know? So these people are really, you know, Esau's anti-life. You know, they grant the rights to people to murder children in the womb. You know, got whole feet, legs, heartbeat, eyes, and everything. Whole little person, man. You know, defenseless.
I think one of these countries,
and they gotta face the blender.
Right, exactly.
And I think one of these states just said they can do it after the child is 6, 7, 8 days old. They can say, you know what,
she's just gonna give him a shot.
That's a murder.
So this woman just has complete control over everybody's life. She can have this baby and put somebody on child support unjustly, because child support is Title 4D, and it's done under the color of law. It's not lawful. It's an actually a legal operation, and they protect it because it's the biggest money maker in America. It's a $15 billion a year industry, which was never enacted in a positive law. Therefore, it is not law.
So as far as they care, it's free money.
So a lot of people aren't aware of that. You know, it's actually not law at all. But this is the type of government that we're talking about, man. That operates within fraud and then pushes that fraud upon its citizens as if it's true. All right.
You want to praise video?
We'll let Pops bring out what he adds in there.
Yeah, this is Sirach 14, we read it 5 through 7. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
There it is.
Right. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Man had everything. The elite banking family, Rothschild being the top of it, guess what? Had more than enough money that could have paid off all the national debts and still been the richest motherfuckers on the planet.
Exactly.
But did they want that? Fuck
no, and then they do all these things that we've been talking about. All right, they do all these things, and then they're killing and destroying and making poverty come upon their own people as well. They don't care.
Exactly.
And so he's evil unto himself, man.
Exactly.
And then you just like, if you got a globe, like, you know those little, remember the little globes you have? You shake it up and the snow comes out. Well, the Earth is like a globe. That's why they call it a globe. So if you put chemtrails in this circle, you put poison in this circle, you put all this madness in this circle, you gotta deal and breathe and deal with the same shit. You stupid bastard.
That's right.
You're being evil to you and your children and your own posterity.
Verse 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And he that doeth good, he doeth unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. This Edomite, like you said, if it wasn't for the remnant's sake, no flesh would be saved.
Oh,
okay. Okay. Let me go over here and grab this one right here and put it right up.
Hey, like you said, you do good. You do
It's unconscious.
He don't want to do it, but you know.
It's an ulterior
motive. Ulterior motive. You have to do it.
He an agenda.
Yeah, hidden agenda. For some wicked evil thing to be successful, if he have to,
which was having us come up here and work for cheap labor. Gonna help forward this NWO that he had set up from way back when.
And it made, like I said, up before that, before the so-called emancipation, the Israelites knew who their enemy was.
Yeah.
You know, it was drawn, it was clean, it was clear. When he did that, they believed that come up here and make things, maybe he ain't that bad now, and all this other kind of stuff. And that's especially when they fell away from Jeremiah 17 and 40, they fell away from their heritage. Because now all of a sudden now they free and they can move around and do the shit they think that they can do.
But it's still boundaries of slavery.
Exactly. You think you know, trying to leave the country without a fucking passport, find out what happened.
Yeah, Jake had their, like, the mom and pop shop, they had their own business. Oh, you can come shop with us. Jake be like, oh man, this white man finally like it. But all along, now you don't got shit in your own neighborhood.
That's right.
Yeah, but
and Martin Luther Queen helped set that up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because I give at least Malcolm X that respect, man. He was against that because he understood that. As a matter of fact, that's why there was a meeting with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and then they both died shortly after because the rumors are is that Martin Luther King said that fuck that, we ain't turning our cheek no more. And he was getting ready to rival Malcolm X, and that was the problem because this guy was too powerful and had too many people follow him, and they were already afraid of Malcolm.
Off top.
Because he walking around with AK-47s talking about by any means necessary. At a time when it was actually legal, you could actually bear your arms like that.
Right. Well, see, they had the mold Martin, Michael. They had to mold him into the character because when they was doing the beginning of the marches, he used to hold a pistol on him. He used to hold guns. He used to hold a gun on him. So they had to mold him into
drop the gun.
You gotta make this shit real. You gotta get spit on. You gotta get hit. And that was by the dude named Daryl Russell. You know what I'm saying? He was an insider who was working with Amalek, who molded Martin Luther King into that.
But there it is, man. But then he turned against that and they got rid of him. All right, because he was like, no more. I made a mistake.
The last 2 years of him living, he started to convert into it.
He said, I brought my people to a burning building.
There you go.
Con, there it is. That's the saying that I couldn't remember.
He said, I've assimilated them into a burning building. And I fear that this house is going to burn down before we even get a chance to live.
So he was retracting all that I have a dream shit. He was retracting the last 2 years of him living, but then they had to get rid of him.
Yeah, and it was literally within a couple of weeks after that famous picture of him and Malcolm X. They had had that sit down, and then after that they was like, okay, these niggas ain't got together. It's time.
That's it.
Anytime they get together, you gotta get their ass out of here.
Get him.
So the world right now is just waiting on this Edomite to come out of power and whatnot. And us, we waiting on Yahweh Shemar Shah to send Yahweh to send his son Yahweh Shah back and do it.
And it's a lot of Edomites, and especially their women, saying that this white man needs to not be in power, needs to go out. And the tons of videos, especially on TikTok, of white Christians saying that, hey, those people are the Israelites, and and God is coming back to put shit right. They're saying it.
Right. Let me get this last scripture in. This is Isaiah 14 and 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. This is what we waiting on. We waiting on this Edomite. All he knows is destruction to get pulled out of authority. Why? Because, like I said, he had the keys to the car and whatnot, and what was brand new, he done went out and wrecked it and twisted it up and banged it against all kinds of shit and whatnot. You don't even recognize that it was a Benz when it was given. It's all banged up and twisted up and whatnot. Got smoke coming from it. The motherfucker was steaming.
It was fine when they went.
It's a hoopty now on a whole different level. You can't even try to drive it in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it says the whole creation groaning, waiting on the earnest manifestation of it.
It's the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 16. The spirit, it's like, this is it. This is the book of Romans chapter 8.
Verse, should be like 21.
Got it. This is the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption. No, that's wrong. This is the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not Wait a minute.
I got a scripture.
Yeah.
It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And it said those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Right. So this man left unchecked would literally destroy his own habitat. He would literally make it where it's unbearable and unlivable for himself. Like I said, I hadn't been on the train for a while, last few days, last couple weeks and whatnot because of gas prices and whatnot. I've been getting on the train a few days out the week and this, that, and the other. And there was over in Issachar neighborhood up there between Damon and California or whatever it might be, on the blue line, you could look down.
The blue line is nuts.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, man.
And you could look down in the Issachar backyard. And at one point in time, I used to spend like about 4 or 5 years ago, I could look down and see this one Issachar had sunflowers and whatnot with the seeds on them, had greens and all kinds of shit. Had a couple roosters back there, the whole lick. The whole lick. That was a fucked up ass rain that came through there and killed everything. Everything. I remember it was a heavy ass rain that came through there and all his shit was laid down and he's never, ever in the 5 years, and I can say that now because I just rolled through there.
Haven't recovered.
Has never come back after that.
This is what I mean by that. There's a lot of riffraff on the blue line.
Yeah.
Drug addicts and street people and shit.
Yep.
It's just as bad as it may be worse than the red line.
It
They
is.
figured out it's a longer ride.
Exactly.
Especially when it's real hot
and cold.
or it's real cold.
Yep.
They'll jump on that for the air conditioning. But they go all the way to Forest Park and come all the way from there down into the city and back up to
Yeah.
to
Oh, hey.
there. So it's even
When
they'll ride it a couple times.
They cutting them off now. They making their ass get off on Cumberland. They stopping the train on Cumberland and making them all get off. If you ain't got a badge and you got a ticket or that you got a flight out of O'Hare, they cutting your ass off on Cumberland and keeping your ass off the train.
Damn. Yeah, because there must have been a lot of people getting jacked.
Yeah, well, oh yeah.
Yeah, because I know they're not reporting a lot of shit.
Exactly.
But let's go ahead and play this video real quick. Stop the shot. Yeah.
Point of food in your very own backyard is a declaration of war. Who agrees?
Yeah.
Banning the growing of food in your very own backyard is a declaration of war. Who agrees?
So there it is, man. So the people are highly upset. The man simply said, any government that declares a declaration, puts a law that banning the growing of food in your own backyard is a declaration of war. And Americans are ready to go to war with their government, man.
It makes me think of that what's that Peter Griffin? What's that Family Guy?
Peter
Family
Griffin.
Guy? Yeah. It was Pretorius. He had his own. Remember the episode about him having his own. He found that he's sovereign, that he has his own whatever. Yeah. And he put a moat around it and fins whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then he ended up going to war with America, whatever the fuck that dumbass shit. But that is symbolic for what America is doing to these so-called American people. If you don't follow their program to whatever degree, from the stab and jabs, all right, from the stab and jabs to the poison Milky Way, all right, to the micro potato chips, right, and all the things that they have planned. If you growing food, and you know what I'm saying, they're looking at like, oh, well, he's in the know. They coming against preppers now. Yeah. They coming against anybody who is trying to come off grid. They saying it's illegal to go off grid. So right now, like it's a scripture that says, woe to them that build house to house and so forth, to where the man has no place to just be alone. Do you know that if I were to just go into the mountains and just be with Yahweh Shemel or to just go eat the herbs of the field and the land, now it's illegal. Yeah. You can't not divorce yourself from the system. That's illegal. That's all about Esau wanting to be as if he is God.
That's why. And the brother precept scripture, Isaiah 10:1. Real quick, precept you.
This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
And the only reason why they get this done is because of that witchcraft pen. This is when they sign things into order. It's called the
National Defense Resource
the National Defense Resource Preparedness Act. And what that does is peacetime wartime, they can take all of the resources. And they take, it's
Obama passed that.
You know what?
Monkey boy passed.
Yeah, he the one that set the stage for that, and that's also why they changed the map. Where if you're within 100 miles of the border, you no longer have the Second Amendment right.
Yep.
All right, so the America actually has shrank. So there's a map that's out there, and it shows you like the edges of America 100 miles in.
Yep.
So that means that they can just come in and search and seize you. All right.
But that's
because I don't know how many miles we're away from the Canadian border, but it's not that, it's really not that far.
Michigan,
All right, so I don't think, and it's probably barely 100 miles. Chicago falls into that.
Yep.
So the truth of the matter is that Chicagoans and people in the surrounding areas no longer have the Second Amendment right. Even if you have your FOIA card and all that other stuff, you really are not a legal gun owner if they decide they want to come and get your shit.
But according to America, though, they could always say, "Oh, eminent domain," or this act or that act. You never had no rights. We've been gangstered. Once we got brought off those slave ships and brought over here, we ain't have no rights. All we have are color of rights. That's why some of us.
Fraud. Everything's fraud.
Exactly.
Everything's a color of law.
Color of law.
Color of law. That's what we got.
Them unrighteous decrees, man. How they get control over people. Read that and get that Sirach 10 and 8 as well. Sirach 10 and 8.
That's why I said,
well, keep reading that. I'm giving that first. Isaiah, I'm gonna restart. All right, Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Yep. And that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And this is what the elites do when the elites set up your puppet. They're the presidents, which is what? What is the verb? What does president mean? It means the first slaves. They set up the presidents so they can prescribe these different laws into action. The way Esau got it was set up is, if I got it on paper.
Yeah, I got you right here.
Go ahead.
See, this is Wisdom Solomon 2:11. It says, "Let our strength be the law of justice."
See, it's by that pen. And when they signed and cursed it,
I'm living that. I'm living that. I'm literally living that because they're not going by their own law.
Yep.
They're going by their strength. Now, fuck what my law says.
Yep.
Well, Bush at the bottom of the barrel. We're just like, we'll keep this under here. It's on my to-do list.
When something is in the queue, that means it's next.
Yeah.
Right. Something is in the queue.
Yeah.
My lawsuit against the unrighteous decree has been in the queue for 2 years. That's the status of it. When you look it up, it's in the queue. So every time a new one comes in, they just set it right over mine and go right to it. They don't. Yeah. Because she refuses to. The judge will not pass judgment, because if she passes judgment, I win.
Yeah.
All right, because I've proven the fraud and everything else that's connected to it.
That's amazing.
It is. It's fucking amazing.
Well, Karab, finish that one.
Always, this Wisdom Solomon 2:11. It says, "Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." So we ain't worth nothing.
Right. So I can't go in there and smack the judge around and make and I did everything legally. I went to the Department of Justice. Nothing happened. The Department of Justice didn't make the judge do what she's supposed to do. Then I went, what do they call it, redacted? When you actually
black it out.
When you redact it, you
Bring it
not
back,
redact
bring
it.
it up.
I didn't mean to say that. There's another word, and I'm forgetting what it is. No. It's basically when you remove the judge to put in another judge. So I did that too, and yeah, nothing. It gives me the printout. I get the email that it's still open. My case is open. It's still in queue. 2 years and some change later now.
But then we also have assistance if you have a right for a speedy trial.
Yeah.
But that's not speedy.
That's out the way.
Yeah.
That's not speedy. That's 2 years.
Well, now when you're looking at opening up the floodgates to freeing people from a $15 billion scam, they go.
Right. And because everything that the court does,
that's the problem.
It's on record. If they do it, it's on record.
If they pass judgment on my case, it will be unprecedented, and it'll be legendary in America, because it would open up the floodgates for everybody who's a victim of that.
They don't have to use that case.
Everyone will be able to.
That'd be a case study.
Everyone will be able to use it to defend
It'll be a
themselves.
case study. But in certain cases, when they get exceed or go to the Supreme Court, etc.
Yeah.
Now other lawyers and other defendants, etc., will use that as they call it, quote unquote, as a case study. So then they'll use this as a precedent, and then they'll say, "Hey, judge, according to the Supreme Court out the BAM and case versus Ray versus Roe, this about the BAM, they said this is cool. So now my case is the same thing. You need to judge the same. And if the judge goes against it when it's already been proven by a higher court, they know there's going to be they open for appeal.
Exactly. So that's the reason why. Because it's exposing. Yeah, but let them finish that, and then you bring yours out, bro.
Yeah, so this verse 12, it says, definitely go back to say, if you don't go along with his way, you know, his fucking bullshit way. Verse 12, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, right? And he is clean contrary to our doing.
Clean, because he's 100% opposite. So whatever the Most High promotes, Esau's going to promote. It's like you went to the Bible and said, "Oh, thou should not kill," we kill him. Thou should not steal, we steal it. And whatever the Lord said,
wear a beard? Oh, we bald face all day.
Bald chickens all day.
The little hat is like in replacement of the Mitri. Like the Mitri is like uncovered and it's wrapped around. They not covered on the sides and got that little hat right there.
You know what? Because Haman the Agagite, the letter that Artaxerxes sent to the 120 provinces. The letter that was sent to the provinces in the Apocrypha, he said that this is a malicious people to our kingdom. So we are malicious. We are contrary to clean contrary.
Why are you clean? Because we're the holy.
Far distant from our goodness.
So that shows the wicked.
So the thing is, if we are still here, we are always going to rebel against this system. Well, even the 2/3 in their spirit still rebels against Esau. And how much more the righteous, though? How much more the men of the Lord? We're by default is going to rebel against this. They have to. The Georgia Guidestone, those that's going to be kicked off. Oh, we in the first lineup of that.
That's it.
Jake is in the first lineup of that, man. That's why.
And that's why Michael gonna come and put their ass.
This is what we're doing right. This live show alone. This is what we're doing right now. It says he upbraided us with our offending the law.
That's right.
He objected to our infamy, the transgression of our education.
So they know they teach bullshit. They know it, and that's why that's not true education. Because they're not really.
That's why they got so many revised books. I went into that wicked ass myopic bookstore just to look to see if they had old dictionaries. And the oldest one was 1971.
That's not
and no, the 1970s still got some good stuff, especially 71 and younger.
Okay.
74 and on down. You know, but you know, you're gonna get the best shit, you know, in the 30s, the 20s, things older, you know, even the 40s and 50s will give you some good shit. That's it. Because Esau was proud and bold then, but bring out your scripture, brother.
Yeah, it's just like the elders was saying, man, this wickedness, man, they keep you these draconian laws, man, these wicked ass laws, man, and this is Psalms 58:2, it says, yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence, your hands in the earth, of your hands in the earth, Salakia.
Yeah, come. Go ahead.
And that's just what they doing, man. These wicked ass draconian laws that they write, you know what I'm saying? They passing these false decrees. Everything about this man is a wickedness, man. He does nothing right. Like the elders say, everything Yahweh say do, he do the fucking opposite.
He do the opposite.
Can't change his spots, man.
Lord, tell him, bring out your scripture. This is the last one, brother.
That's Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. Great a part of not.
It's full of it?
Full of lies. That's all they do is lie, rob, and they pray upon us.
Yeah, they pray upon us, and you can't believe nothing that they say on their mainstream media.
That's right.
All right? Anything that they say, 9 times out of 10, anything they say on the mainstream media is a lie. All right? Read that one more time, brother.
This is Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full. Salakia. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Yeah, then get mad when you speak out against them. Like, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen? You know, when you're oppressing somebody.
It was like that idiot on the street yesterday that spit in Jake's face, and Jake flood his ass. You don't spit in somebody's face
That's insult.
and then expect, nothing to happen. Right? There's going to be some sort of retaliation if you spit in somebody's face.
That's right, because if you did that,
Even if it ain't right then and there, you can, there's going to be some sort of,
And according to the police, if you spit in someone under the law,
That's assault.
That's called an assault charge. That's actually he was actually in 100% in the right, and didn't even have to run and dip.
Yeah, well, it was beautiful the way it happened because then the dude sat on the phone and played like he was so hurt, screaming and making all that noise. Little nigga woman came up, stole his phone, and took off running. He jumped up running. I thought you was so hurt. Then when he jumped up running, the damn white woman that was with him took all his shit and disappeared onto the train. So the same way that the nigga woman is being left behind by her own men of her own tribe, all right, having a little party, and then no men show up, all right, and sent the text message, hey, y'all can do bad all by yourself. Y'all independent, all right. The same shit is happening with Esau. His woman is dissing him too. That Job 27:15 is going on, man. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor
To Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash.
Wow,
Abba,